Blake Gibbons here with Run Diffusion. I just wanted to take you through one of our quick templates to be able to for architectural planning. It's a really cool template we have in Run Diffusion where you can take a sort of a flat 2D floor plan of a space like a lobby or a room or just any interior flat 2D design and actually pop it into a 3D view. And I wanted to show you how that works. So if you go into our feature board templates, you can see it here. It's called this 2D to 3D floor plans for architecture. If you go in here and select this, I just want to take you through the template and kind of what you can find. And so if you go in here, the first thing you'll see is Flux 2 Pro. It's a really fantastic image model from Black Forest Labs. I like it because it has, again, really good aesthetic. It's really clean, and you can see in this example, I have this board. I deselect. I'm going to make my screen just a little bit smaller so you can kind of see I'm on a really wide screen. If you are going into this board, when you activate this, it has all the drawer menu options here on the right hand side. So I just put together a quick prompt. If you need some help with that, you can put together a prompt and you can enhance that prompt with our LLM tool, which will actually add additional additional words and tokens for your prompt, which you can inject and use here. You can also create one with ChatGPT and copy here if you have a library of prompts you want to use and just paste them in. That works as well. If you have reference images, you can upload or use reference images from your library as well to be able to create new images. So in this example, I just did an image or a text or prompt image to be able to get these using a prompt doing a text to image. I was able to get these sort of mood boards you can see here, and it's kind of just going through them. I wanted to get sort of this Pottery Barn style, sort of clean, modern feel. You'll see where I use this kind of down below. Here's just a couple different iterations you can kind of see. If I take this and I didn't change any of the settings that you see here. If you're ever curious about these, you can always hover over a lot of the options here. It'll kind of give you a little pop-up on what those mean. And then of course you can see your balance here and then also what this tool costs, which is 65 tokens here to be able to generate images. If I want to change in the aspect ratios of this particular tool, I can do that here. This can change aspect ratio, and then also you can see here it changes resolution as well. I happen to just, with the metadata that you see here, these images are 1024 by 1024, so 1K images in a square. Now I'm going to go into Nano Banana Pro, one of the very best editing tools that's on the market, and I'm going to take some of these elements that I have here for mood boarding. You'll see where I kind of incorporate them into this model here below. Now I didn't start with a flat floor plan, so I actually AI generated one. And you can see here where I'm using Nano Banana Pro just to get some ink style sketches of sort of a master suite, maybe at a home, maybe at a hotel. But you can kind of see that here. I just created a prompt. I think I got this from ChatGPT and just pasted it in here. And it's just a rough sort of ink sketch of a master suite where the things would kind of lie. Got your walk-in closet, your bedroom, lounge. Actually kind of like this one. I probably should have used it actually. The one that I ended up going with, probably the organization of the room isn't probably the best for what you'd actually build out, but it'll suit well for this example. You can see I grabbed another one here and then another one here. And I was just kind of going through the ideation process, just seeing what we could kind of come up with. This huge master closet. I think this might have been the one that actually stuck with, where I had this living space, bedroom, kitchenette. I think the only thing that I changed is I used our annotation tool to be able to add a balcony, and you'll see that here. So within our product, you can take an annotation tool and actually just draw boxes or something like that. What I wanted it initially to do is connect this wall, but I ended up leaving that open. But I wanted to actually have a balcony with a little barbecue out here. And so you can see here, fill in the wall in the kitchen. It actually didn't do that super well. Where there is a red square off the master suite, make that a balcony and put a barbecue unit there where it indicates the same with text. And it did that pretty well. So you can kind of see here, didn't really fill in this, kind of made these dark for some reason, but put the barbecue and the deck where I wanted it. And then my next iteration of this was actually right here. And so with this, I wanted it to fill in the wall as well. didn't do that so well. So I finally just kind of gave up, and with some additional prompting, I could have got that, but I just had this sort of like a floating wall with the refrigerator kind of inside it like that. Um, and then what I wanted to do is have it look a little bit more sort of like a CAD drawing. And so you can kind of see where I've added color to it here. Um, I actually got the spelling right from the Nano Banana Pro, just does a really good job with things like that. So I kind of added a CAD drawing. Interesting, they put the toilet sort of inside the shower on that. So I ended up rearranging this bathtub to be a little bit closer here, and then the toilet outside on this wall right here, which you'll see here in a second with my prompts. So what you can do is you basically just can update your basis image here and add iterative changes to it. So I'm just continually feeding an image back in and getting something new out the other side. And so I've taken this image here. Now this is my basis image, and I'm saying change the 2D plan to show that in a 3D view that pops out to the viewer and shows more realistic detail. The view should be an aerial aspect view showing the entire 3D floor plan. And you can see that it's kind of done that here pretty well. Um, really understands well kind of like what a closet is, what the, this is kind of really ugly tile, I think, but we'll change that in a second. But just a really cool, a little bit more dynamic floor plan than just something that's just a flat 2D aspect drawing like this. And then I started to make some iterative changes to it. And so you can see here, I wanted to change the tile to sort of slate gray. So change that really, really nicely for me. And then let's tackle the toilet here out of the shower. And so that's where I wanted to move sort of the tub and the toilet in a different position. And then I really didn't like the hardwood floors, and so I wanted to make them a little bit more jazzed up. And so I changed them to sort of like a herringbone style pattern, which you can see here. Um, and then my next iteration, I fed that image back into the model. And this is where I combined my mood boards from above. And so I grabbed one of these, I think it was this one, just like the colors of this, and I wanted to add it to this mood board in here, or this sort of 2D plot map here and just lighten things up. And so you can see here, I've taken the mood board elements, and it's, it actually added some really big vases right here and added one here on top of the fridge. Just trying to figure out exactly what I'm going for. I kind of like this where it has like 2 shower heads, just to get an idea. But there were some things I wanted to fix in here, and you can see that I've done that here. So I fed that image back in and put a little annotation here in the red and then these little green dots. And I basically said follow and remove the annotations marked in the image, make the walls white or soft colors versus tan. So I kind of wanted to lighten this up just a little bit, the walls, and then remove the vase from the image where the red dot is. So I want to get the image out of there, the vase out of there up top, the top of the fridge, and then in the green dot area, put lamps. So kind of more like a lamp like this. I want to put where the green dots were, and you can kind of see that it's done that really, really nicely. And then lastly, I wanted to, it didn't do a very good job. What I was trying to get it to do is basically give me, sometimes it will work well, depending on the floor plan you're using, but you can kind of draw an arrow in here of like a camera angle. And it would be nice if it took me sort of inside the room. But as I tried to do that, it wasn't doing that very well to show me kind of, a view of the shower. But what's nice is I can kind of use this image as sort of a representation of, hey, these are some of the elements that we're planning on putting in this space to give you an idea. And it does that pretty well, but not exact for the view. And so you probably want to do something else for that, and then use that image to be able to edit and make changes as needed. The next thing I did was, I just wanted to show, I actually liked the upscaling capability in Nano Banana Pro versus something like Magnific here. Just did a little bit better job. I didn't need a lot of refinement. I just wanted to actually upscale the images and make them a little softer. And so you can see it's done that here pretty well. And then I upscaled this image as well to 4K, changed nothing about the image, but I just changed the resolution. And I wanted to make that a little bit more soft with this as well. And then same thing with this one, which you can kind of see. I've upscaled that as well. I did do some Magnific upscalers. I actually liked the how it handled this. I thought it had better detail. You can see here, there's definitely a lot more detail. It's a little bit more creative in the tile. Like that quite a bit. Better reflections in the tub. So I did take some of my images from up here in Nano Banana Pro, and instead of just true upscaling them to 4K, I brought them down into this tool, Magnifique, which not only upscales, but you can actually enhance creativity or textures and tones, shadows, reflections. You can adjust practicality and creativity to be able to give you a little bit more pop, like you see here with the tile where I'm seeing a little bit more coloration and variety. The other thing I upscaled, you can kind of see here on the cloth, like there's a little bit more detail on the cloth versus what you saw just on the regular image. So Magnifique does a pretty good job with that. And then I upscaled these with Magnifique as well, but they're just 2D drawings. So not a ton of difference here on these flat 2D drawings, but I did upscale these too. Very close to the original. And then what I did for those, I made a quick, simple video. So I took some of the the pictures that I had up here, and then I moved them into C-Dance Pro and created a video out of these. And so I used this starting image right here, which I just dragged over into the start frame, just like this. And then I used, I think it was my image up here, maybe it's this one, and I dragged that over into the exit or the end frame. And then you can pick, whatever video size you want, and aspect ratio and resolution. And then I put in a simple prompt of a 2D plant iteratively changes from sort of CAD style drawing to a 3D more realistic render, inspiring fun music plays in the background for mood, inspiring fun music plays in the background for mood. And I like the way this turned out. So if you want audio, you can select audio here and move that on, and then you can choose the direction of your video. Here, if you do lower quality, you can, I think, go up to, with some of these, up to 20 seconds, I believe, on this model. It might be 12. But I think I set this up for an 8 to 10 second video. You can see here, once I run that, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. Slides them into place. And then here's another version. I just ran 2, so you can kind of compare. Like this one, how everything slides into place as well. It's kind of cool. And then I did upscale these as well. We have a video upscaler. So these are only 720p in this tool here. And so I wanted to upscale them to 4K. There was a little bit of a double audio that it created for some reason when I upscaled them. Typically doesn't do that. It'll just upscale to, so I dragged my video here into this model. Super, super simple. So I'm going to grab this grab this tool and activate it. And then I can drag whatever video I want to upscale, and I can select the resolution here, whether I want the quality to be low, medium, high, or maximum, and then run that. And you can kind of see again, there's a little bit of double audio here. Typically doesn't do that, but it's a really nice way to upscale your videos to 4K. Pretty sharp, very cool. But yeah, this is just a really great, kind of a fun example where you can take 2D plat drawings and give them a little bit of pop with your clients and show them in more of a 3D style view, just to make them a little bit more less abstract and a little bit easier, better detail for what you're looking to do. If you have any questions, feel free to check it out. We're here to help. Of course, you can reach out to our support center anytime, and hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks so much.